So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K25 Next Gen. In today's video, we are back with another episode of our offseason rebuild series, and today it's going to be the New Orleans Pelicans. To say this has been an absolute nightmare of a season for New Orleans would be the understatement of the century. This team was coming off one of the more embarrassing playoff runs a year ago. They got absolutely smoked by the Oklahoma City Thunder. Of course, Zion Williamson went down, and it felt like this offseason they had kind of gotten to the point where it was going to be a make or break year. Obviously, this team broke. Now, I want to say first and foremost, they dealt with a lot of injuries, and that seems like it has been the biggest problem for the Pelicans over recent years. The Western Conference is obviously loaded, and this is a team that is definitely going to be making some tough decisions this offseason. So the good news for Pelicans fans is that there actually is some talent on this team. So our goal today is to hopefully pick and choose the right players and eventually get this team a championship. I'll, of course, give some more of my thoughts about this Pelicans team and their situation moving forward once we get into the video. But, of course, as always, let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. I mentioned it last week. We've kind of established a schedule in the way we're going to do these videos and every other series that I have right now. Moving forward until pretty much we get to the point where we are done with these videos. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday is likely going to be the LeBron era rebuilds. Here on Tuesday, we're going to do likely one off-season rebuild a week. Of course, we're only doing teams that have officially been eliminated from the postseason. And at the time I'm recording this, the Pelicans are 19-53. So yeah, they've been officially eliminated. And then Thursday will be the one rebuild challenge of the week we do as well. So anybody has any ideas for any of those rebuilds, let me hear it all down below in the comment section. And very much looking forward to this one today, man. Pelicans fans, I'm sure you guys have been enduring a lot of pain in recent years, so let me hope myself I can fix that for you. Let's get into it. We now find ourselves in the 2025 offseason. Of course, that is where we are going to kick off all of these offseason rebuilds. It's pretty pointless to go through the rest of the 24-25 season, considering all these teams are eliminated from playoff contention. So we'll go ahead and we'll discuss this Pelicans roster. I think one of the really good things, as I touched on a bit in the intro, is that this team has good players, and they have a lot of draft quality of their own, I will say. They have their own draft picks, relatively speaking, moving forward. So, we're not in a nightmare situation with a ton of bad contracts, no draft picks. That's not quite where we find ourselves here today. But let's get into it. Let's talk about this Pelicans team and just see what we're working with at the moment. Because, of course, the one real big move they made throughout this season was trading Brandon Ingram to the Toronto Raptors. Certainly an interesting move for Toronto, but a more interesting one here for New Orleans, because there is a little bit of a void left there, whereas, of course, would have been nice to have him. So we'll go position by position as we always do. Again, do not get, caught up on any of these players. There's certainly a possibility that some of them are moved at some time. CJ McCollum's been pretty good for this team. I think he has 4 40-point games this year. And in a season that pretty much nothing has gone right, I think that is something you can kind of take away and be happy about. So CJ's 33. By the time this video ends, he'll likely be 36. I don't think it makes a lot of sense to have him as a 3-year option. He's had a fantastic NBA career, and this is not an indictment against him, but ultimately I'd like to get a little bit younger and a little bit of a better overall, whether he's playing the 1 guard, the 2 guard. Certainly something we'll figure out. DeJounte Murray tore his Achilles. It sucks. He was a terrible fit in Atlanta, ultimately got traded to New Orleans this offseason. Dyson Daniels looks fantastic for the Atlanta Hawks, and DeJounte Murray is, hopefully able to bounce back and get back to his old self, because it has not been fun and it has not been a great trade so far for New Orleans. So, he's 28 years old. He's certainly a viable option when healthy. I don't hate the contract or anything like that, and it's certainly something we'll figure out. Of course, we don't play with injuries on here. Third option here at the point guard spot is going to be Jose Alvarado, who I think is a really, really nice role player. Obviously competes night in and night out. He's 27 years old, 1 year left on that deal. So again, we'll kind of go on a year-to-year basis, but it is a really good depth piece for this team here. Now the shooting guard spot, whether I'm playing Trey Murphy the third at the 2, the 3, the 4, I have absolutely no idea. He has been fantastic for this team so far. He's only 25. I think the sky is the absolute limit for him. He torched my goddamn Celtics when they played. And again, I love the contract. So again, just going to hope he can continue to develop for us and be a piece for this team moving forward. Brandon Boston Jr., Jordan Hawkins, Antonio Reeves, all relatively young. Boston and Hawkins are both in a similar overall department. So again, we're going to have to make a decision there at some point, but pretty good depth. And again, that's one of the things about this Pelicans team. It's just unfortunate that that depth can never really be healthy at the same time. Now the small forward spot, they have Zion, listed as a 3. Again, similar. I'm not sure where I'll end up playing him, but in my mind, he is a piece for this team moving forward. Zion was injured this season, as he pretty much always is. Not a shot, just the truth. And since he's been back, he's been fantastic. So I don't know if the Pelicans are going to shop him this offseason. It wouldn't surprise me if they checked out what was, available and what teams were willing to give up for him, because when healthy, he's truly dominant. But he's only 24 years old, and I'd like to think that he can be the face of this franchise moving forward. Behind him, we have Bruce Brown, probably not a guy I'm going to end up bringing back. Now we move to the power forward spot. Herb Jones, I believe, is out for the rest of this season as well, as is the case with many players. on this Pelicans team. I don't really think he's a fit at the power forward spot. I'm a huge Herb Jones fan, if you didn't know that. He's 26, and again, just a fantastic contract. So we're going to see what we end up doing with him here today. I don't know if he'll be in the starting lineup the whole time. He could end up coming off the bench, but again, it's going to be a wait-and-see kind of thing. Behind him, Kelly Olynyk here, who was one of the pieces in the Brandon Ingram deal from the Toronto Raptors. You got Jeremiah Robinson-Earl here as well. And then finally, the center spot. One of the lone bright spots is going to be Yves Missi for this team. He's been absolutely fantastic. The rookie 21-year-old, 79 overall, and in very likely scenario is that he's going to be my starting center this whole time. You got Karlo Matkovic behind him at the center spot and Mr. Mo Bamba himself. All right, that is the team. Not a fun year. It's just kind of been the story of, the Pelicans post Anthony Davis. It feels like nothing has really ever gone right at the same time for this team. So we're going to get into the offseason, of course, just to put it out there in case you aren't aware. This is not a realistic rebuild. I'm going to certainly be making some trades that are nowhere close to realistic. So let's get into the draft lottery. We do own our own first-round pick this year. It is currently projected to be the 3rd overall selection. I didn't really see what happened throughout the sim when I was simulating the rest of the 24 or 25 season, but apparently we were pretty bad. 3rd overall pick projected. We end up with the number 6. Good God, 2K. Just the Pelicans' luck, man. It really is. It really, really is. I think I'm going to move on from Willie Green. Where the hell is the left arm of our governor here? Mr. Danny Roberts. Okay. Not an indictment on Willie Green. I think ultimately a big thing for this team is just going to be hitting the reset button. And Willie Green, not necessarily a great coach, not necessarily a horrible coach in my opinion. I just think I'd like to bring in somebody new. Fresh face, fresh vibe, fresh everything here. So Stauffer's obviously an option. There's a few other names here. You got Nick McMillan, who's an assistant coach for the Lakers right now. I don't really know who. Sierra Blunt. Oh, maybe a woman head coach. Joe Jones. Interesting. A lot of. Okay, I thought that was Bronny for a second. I was like, what in the actual fuck is going on here? So there's not a lot of, real people here. So, you know what? I've had a lot of success with him in the past. Mike Stauffer feels totally fine by me, my standards here today. We approached the 2025 draft. Of course, fell 3 spots from where we were actually supposed to be. I do think there's an argument to be made that I could include this pick in a bigger trade. Maybe I'll sit there. Of course, we already have a lot of depth, so I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I'll just see you guys with whatever move we do make. We are making a trade here with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Darius Garland is a player that I certainly acquire from time to time. Ultimately, in my opinion anyways, it has been long enough since I have traded for him where I'm kind of okay doing it again. So it's a big one. CJ McCollum, who again has been pretty good for this team this year, but ultimately is going to regress. We know how 2K works. The 6th overall pick, along with Kelly Olynyk, all going to Cleveland, and in return, getting ourselves Darius Garland and Jalen Tyson. So, I understand we have a bit of a logjam right now, at our backcourt positions with, a lot of names there. DeJounte Murray, Jose Alvarado, CJ, everybody there. It's a logjam. But I do think Darius Garland's going to fit nicely in here. Likely we'll move Trey Murphy to the 3, move Zion back to the 4. I think that officially solidifies our starting 5. So no draft picks for us this year. That's, again, totally fine by me. Brandon Boston Jr., Jordan Hawkins. We will retain both of those guys. We are not going to qualify any of these restricted free agents. And then here in free agency, I don't know if we have a lot of names that I'm interested in bringing back. I think at this point we're going to move some positions around and probably make another trade. I'm not really sure why the Miami Heat are willing to do this, but you know what? It's fine by me. We're going to send Brandon Boston Jr. and Antonio Reeves to Miami, and in return, we're going to get ourselves Jaime Jaquez Jr. along with a 2027 second-round pick swap. So, Jaquez is going to come in, just going to be a nice bench piece for me. Now, the interesting decision I do have to make is who do I want to be the backup 3? Who do I want to be the backup 4? Because I moved Herb Jones back to maybe his more natural position at the 3, and he shoots up 4 overalls to an 86. Now, Jaquez is currently listed as a small forward, but I am curious what happens if I move him to power forward. He actually only goes down 2, whereas Jones goes down 4 if you move him to the power forward spot. So I'm going to play Jaime at the backup 4. Again, maybe not a natural fit, but I think ultimately it's going to be fine. He's probably only playing 12, 15 minutes a game, and I think he's going to be a good fit for this team. So we actually are pretty much all set. I don't really think there's going to be any other moves made. We have pretty much every position solidified. I, of course, moved Murray back to the 2-guard spot. I ended up deciding to go with Hawkins over Brandon Boston Jr. strictly on a contract basis. Hawkins has another year of team control. Trey Murphy moved to the 3. Same with Herb Jones. Again, 286 overalls is a really nice luxury there. Jalen Tyson, who, of course, we got in the Darius Garland deal. I'm actually not going to move immediately. He has more team control after this year. And whether he's a trade piece, we end up getting him in the rotation somehow. I'm definitely just not going to give up on him. Zion, obviously, moving back to his natural spot at the 4. Jaime Jaquez Jr., who we just brought in. And then Yves Missi and Karlo Matkovic are going to be my 2 center options. So it's not a lot of crazy moves. I mean, obviously, the Garland deal was pretty big, but This team is good. And obviously here in this unrealistic rebuild, there's no injuries on. I have full control of the rotation. I think this could be a pretty good team, heading into year number 1 for us. So I'll see you guys at the start of year 1. We are ready to kick off the first season here in New Orleans. Now, this offseason, we ended up making some nice moves. Ultimately, I think the Darius Garland addition is going to be really beneficial, but you know what? This team has a lot of really quality depth, and I think this could be a playoff team here in year 1. Now, it's going to be Garland, DeJounte Murray in the backcourt, maybe a little bit nervous about the fit. Of course, we saw how DeJounte Murray fit with Trae Young, and of course, I'm not comparing Garland to Trae Young. They are different players, but, the shorter point guards with Murray at the 2 has not proven to be the best fit, but we'll see. It is 2K. Trey Murphy has gone down 2 overalls for whatever reason. He's going to be starting at the 3 for me. Herb Jones is technically 1 overall higher. He also went down 1. Again, not sure why. Shout out 2K, but I'm taking Trey Murphy. I think he's, earned that starting spot just a little bit more at this point. Zion is up to a 91, will be my starting power forward. Yves Missi at an 80 overall is going to be the starting center. Bench unit will be led by Herb Jones. Jaquez, who's up to an 80 overall, of course, is the backup 4. Jose Alvarado backing up Garland. You got Hawkins at the backup 2. And finally, Karlo Matkovic is going to be the backup center. Now, unfortunately, I did not realize how fast Jalen Tyson was going to progress. And he's a 79 overall, so certainly deserves to be in an NBA rotation. He's going to be our 11th guy here, not getting consistent playing time, but if somebody fouls out, he's here and he's ready to go. New head coach as well with Mike Stauffer, and again, I think this can be a playoff team year 1. I really do. So, see you guys at the end of the first season. I felt pretty good about this squad heading into year number 1 here in New Orleans, and ultimately I was kind of correct. We go 60-22. Now, I don't know if that's the 1 seed in a loaded Western Conference, but compared to where this team was just a year ago, it's unbelievable. SGA is going to be your MVP. You got Cooper Flagg. He is in DC. He's your Rookie of the Year. Dylan Harper coming off the bench in Charlotte. You got Evan Mobley as your depoy. Jarris Walker, Most Improved. Luka Doncic, Clutch Player of the Year. Mark Daigneault. Seriously? Really? Okay. That's cool. We are the 1 seed, which I don't know if that's a surprise to many of you. Again, you just see what happens when there's no injuries on, and you make some, I don't want to say minor upgrades, but you make some solid upgrades to a team. Good God. Relegate this conference. I mean, holy fuck. Let's talk about the stats for this team. Led in scoring by Zion Williamson, who was absolutely incredible. 25.5 points, 8 boards, almost 5 assists a game. He was 67% from the field. I mean, just all around incredible. Darius Garland emerged as a really nice number 2 option for us. DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Jaime Jaquez, Herb Jones, Yves Missi, Hawkins, Alvarado, Matkovic. Led in rebounds by Missi, led in assists by Garland. Okay. I don't know if I was expecting to be the 1 seed, but I will certainly take it. It is going to be us and the Sacramento Kings here in the first round of the playoffs. You got Malik Monk, Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, Keegan Murray, Domantas Sabonis, Keon Ellis, another team with a bit of a disappointing year. Ultimately, they are now back in the playoffs. And we quickly take a 2-1 lead against Sacramento. They tie it at 2. We go up 3-2. We win the series in 6. Okay, little stressful, not going to lie to you. We're moving on to the San Antonio Spurs here, who... oh boy, yeah, just this guy right here is going to be a bit of a problem, I would say. Missi has his hands full, certainly, but young team, up and coming, obviously, added a really nice piece in De'Aaron Fox, and I think this team's definitely going to be able to make some noise here, and I'm a little nervous, I'm not going to lie to you. We are up 2-1 at this point. They tie it at 2s. We go up 3-2, and we are now taking on 2K's favorite team here in the Western Conference Finals, that, of course, being the Dallas Mavericks. So, you got Kyrie, you got AD, Derek Lively, Daniel Gafford, whole lot of size here in Dallas, but, of course, they do not have the superstar they once did, Luka Doncic. So we're not going to discuss that right now, though. We split the first 2 on our home floor, lose game 3, win game 4, win game 5, and oh boy, it is game 7. It is do or die. What happens? We win, and we are going to the NBA Finals here in our first season to take on the Celtics, who are a 7 seed. All right, 2K. Peyton Pritchard, Derek White, Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, Porzingis. How Lonzo Ball ended up here, I have no clue. But the Celtics are pretty damn good. I think we're all probably in agreement on that. Even if they are a 7 seed. We're down 2-1 at this point. Down 3-1. Okay. Can we maybe come back from being down 3-1? I'd like to see it. Come on. No, 2K. Don't do this. Hold the lead. Hold the damn lead. All right, I'll see you in there. I didn't realize it till now, but we had a 47-point third quarter, and that is, of course, why we are in this position at the moment. We are very much in control of this game, and hopefully, Jesus Christ, Jaime, very much in control of hopefully winning a championship here. But it is Game 7. I, of course, want to... Oh, my God, I did not mean to pass that. I, of course, want to make sure that I do not do anything too stupid, because this lead feels good, but it's definitely not 100% safe. I think we're all probably in agreement on that. So, clock is approaching. 2 minutes left to go here. Certainly would like to make sure the starters are in the game at this point. I think this team, wow, there's not really a lot of, like, where's Zion? What situation would would Zion Williamson not be in this game right now? All right, I'm going to take one of my 2 timeouts. I want to make sure my starters are getting back in the game because, you know, no disrespect to Karla Matkovic or, you know, really anybody that's not supposed to be in this game right now, but let's be for real for just a second. All right, starter. Oh, shit. Zion must have fouled out. Same with Misi. That fucking sucks. All right, well, what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to insert Trey Murphy over Jaime Jaquez, and then I guess Matkovic is our one and only real backup center. He's going to have to do. So, yeah, we are basically without our starting front court right now. But Herb Jones is a really nice, you know, backup option to be inserted into this game right now, and just hope I have the basketball. I forgot about that. And hopefully we have gotten to the point where our depth, of course, was one of our strong suits all season, can really kind of carry us. Good shot from Garland there. He gets that one to go, putting us up back by 11. It is 1:45 on the clock. They are getting it down. Celtics also looks like they got some subs in there. Jaylen Brown just going to work it. I'm not really sure. Herb Jones is an elite defender. I'm not an elite defender, though. That sucks. JB going to the free throw line. Oh, boy. All right. Missed the shot, Jalen. Free throws are not your strong suit. Okay. I guess they are here today. 10-point ball game. Again, we are in control. I'm not really stressing out too much right now. JB goes 2 for 2, and we are now in a 9-point game here. Darius Garland, let's just do your thing here. Peyton Pritchard is pretty damn quick, but he is not as quick. Seriously? I mean, I'm trying to waste clock, but if they're going to do that and full court press and just have really no answer for Darius Garland going coast to coast, then by all means, do your thing. All right, Herb Jones, just continue to lock up Jaylen Brown. Do whatever it takes to get it done. They're going to go into Porzingis here. Pritchard. I'm just trying to play lockdown defense. Again, if they want to waste the clock, that's perfectly fine by me. Derek White's a fantastic clutch shooter. Does not get that one to go, and I think we have pretty much solidified it at this point. I am just going to call for the ISO here. Of course, you know, Derek White's an elite defensive player, but I don't know. We're pretty much good, you know, as I see it anyways. Little shot there for... Oh, I thought he was going to bank it up. This game's over. To be completely honest with you, I was not necessarily expecting that. We still have 2 years to go, but it feels really good to start this one off with a bang. And Zion Williamson, who of course we did not get to use in that gameplay, is going to be your finals MVP. We're just going to go through this like a normal offseason. There may be 1 or 2 changes. You got a couple legends retiring from the game. I don't really foresee anything too crazy right now. Now, the Pelicans pick we do have. We have the right to swap the pick. So if it ends up landing somewhere, I will take it. It's at number 9. That's totally cool by me. Obviously, hanging on to Mike Stauffer. We approach the 2026 draft. And I'm honestly not really sure what I want to do. We also have number 19 from the Indiana Pacers. You know, there's probably a move out there. I guess I'll just see you guys with whatever it is. The Chicago Bulls currently own the 6th overall pick. I'm going to offer up my 2 first-round draft selections and hope maybe we can move up 3 spots. This is number 9. This is number 19. Let's see if we can make a deal. I don't want to give up a ton in other assets. I'd rather just give up 2. Okay, cool. I take it. I don't know who we're going to draft here. I don't know what position I would be hypothetically targeting. Koa Pete, Caleb Wilson, Nate Ament, Jaden Quintance. I'll take Koa Pete. I feel like I've had some relative success, and again, I'm not saying that he's a huge need for us, but could be a trade piece, could be a depth piece, I don't know. Jose Alvarado is going to enter unrestricted free agency. He's certainly somebody I'm going to look to bring back. I think he was an important piece for this team. He's going to ask for about $6 million annually, which kind of feels like a steal. And I'm not really sure what other changes need to be made at this point. I mean, there's certainly maybe 1 or 2 spots we could upgrade, but I think ultimately this team's in a pretty good position right now. Swinging a deal here with the Toronto Raptors. Karla Matkovic and Jalen Tyson are going to Toronto, and in return, we're getting ourselves a 22-year-old Grady Dick. Now, looks like the Toronto Raptors actually locked him up on a long-term extension as well, so totally fine by me, but he's going to come in, be a little bit of an upgrade at our backup shooting guard spot, and I think that's going to be a really nice fit behind DeJounte Murray. Now, Jordan Hawkins was an expiring deal, and while I wasn't necessarily looking to upgrade this spot, when the offer came along, I felt it was just too good to pass up. So hopefully Hawkins, I'm not going to trade either one of these guys. I think Hawkins is somebody I'm willing to give an extension to next offseason, and eventually we'll sort out what we want to do with Koa Pete. But hopefully Hawkins can just get me a new backup center behind Yves Misi. Again, I'm not looking for a superstar. What? I don't love giving up draft picks, but again, that's just too good to pass up on. So yeah, thank you once again, Miami. We didn't necessarily go from worst to first year over year, but we came pretty damn close. Winning a championship in year 1 is an unbelievable feeling. It alleviates a lot of the pressure for the remainder of the video, but it certainly does not mean we stop trying. Now, I'd like to go back-to-back. Hell, I'd like to three-peat throughout this rebuild. This offseason, we made a few different changes. Some moves I didn't think were, 100% necessary, but they kind of fell in my lap. Starting five is going to remain exactly the same. Darius Garland, DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Zion Williamson, and Yves Misi. Bench unit will be still led by Herb Jones. New addition here with Grady Dick, Khalil Ware, who, again, Miami kind of just gave me for no reason. Thank you. Jaime Jaquez Jr., and finally Jose Alvarado. Now, Koa Pete, probably good enough to be in an NBA rotation. It's not going to be this one, at least for the first season. For his first season in the league. And that's something we'll address come off-season time. But very similar team to last year. Unbelievable depth, unbelievable star power. I'd like to go back-to-back. Year 2 is officially over, and we were pretty much on pace with where we were just a season ago. 59-23 is the record. Technically, it's one game worse, but I'm not really worrying about it. In case you weren't aware, Victor Wembanyama is in the NBA, and he's pretty good. AJ Debinsa is your Rookie of the Year. He is a member of the Phoenix Suns. You got Jalen Johnson coming off the bench in Atlanta. Victor Wembanyama also wins the Defensive Player of the Year. Reed Shepherd, now a Chicago Bull. Not really sure why the Houston Rockets gave up on him, but he's most improved. Halliburton wins Clutch Player of the Year, and Jason Kidd in San Antonio. I guess they made a coaching change after Popovich retired, and for whatever reason, Dallas fired him. Okay. It is time for the NBA playoffs. It appears that we did not have the best record in the Western Conference. That, of course, means we didn't have the best record in the league. We are likely a 2 seed, and yeah, that's exactly where we are. So, San Antonio is here, man. We beat them last year in the playoffs, but it is going to be a bit of a bigger challenge this time around. Let's talk about the numbers here real quick. Zion, again, continues to be ultimately just a superstar. He's unbelievably impressive. Darius Garland, DeJounte Murray, Trey Murphy, Grady Dick, Ware, Misi, Jones, Jaquez, and then Alvarado. Led in boards by Misi, led in assists by Garland. Okay, facing a play-in team for the second straight season. That play-in team is going to be the Houston Rockets. They brought in P. Giddy. They have Jalen Green still, Dylan Brooks. Amen Thompson's actually playing the 4. I mean, what position can this guy not play? What an unbelievable athlete. Alperen Şengün, you got Cam Whitmore off the bench. Nick Smith Jr. brought in Dante DiVincenzo. So Houston is young. They may have, not a lot of experience, but they are a really, really talented team. We're up 3-1 at the moment. We do end up winning the series in 5. Now, it is us and the Minnesota Timberwolves here in the Western Conference semifinals. Anthony Edwards is a superstar. There is no denying that. And while where does Julius Randle go in these videos? I feel like he leaves every single time. Okay. Quick 2-0 lead for us. They have the best player, I'll say that, but we have a better team, no denying that. And for the first time, I think, in this video, we do not have home court advantage in a series, as where's De'Aaron Fox? What the hell? Oh, my God. Western Conference Finals time. Again, they have the best player. I think we have a better team. We are up 3-0, and why the hell am I sweating about the San Antonio Spurs? We kicked the shit out of them. Actually, our easiest series yet, technically. We are taking on Jalen Johnson, who I believe is coming off the bench and just won Conference Finals MVP. Okay, 2K. That's why he's coming off the bench, because they added Pascal Siakam. Jabari Smith Jr. is now somehow here. Oh, they traded Trae Young. What is this video today? I feel like there's so many crazy moves happening. Really? 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 Okay. First things first, what? How? I don't want to disrespect the Atlanta Hawks, but really? Oh, that's a brutal series out of Garland. Horrible series from Murray as well. Wow. Okay. Well, congratulations to Atlanta. I didn't necessarily see that coming, especially after they move on from Trae Young. But question is, has somebody coming off the bench ever won a Finals MVP? Because Iggy wasn't coming off the bench in 2015. I don't think so, anyways. All right, let's sim through the draft lottery. I don't think we have any picks here this year, which is, again, totally fine. We already have a lot of depth. Mike Stauffer is going to stay on as our head coach. And let's approach the 2027 draft. Do we have any picks at all? We have the... Oh, shit. How did I miss that? Okay, well, the 7th overall pick is certainly not nothing. Holy shit, it's like too many things all at once. I am going to make a trade, probably include this pick. I have no idea what it's going to be yet. I'll see you guys with the move. We're going to try to swing a blockbuster here with the Orlando Magic. Is it necessary? Probably not, but we're entering year 3 of a rebuild, and I do not want to keep this team exactly identical. So, I discussed a little bit earlier about how big of a Trey Murphy fan I am. He's had an unbelievable season this year in real life, but that overall is just not moving as much as I was maybe initially hoping it would be, and, neither is his offensive game. A lot of that's probably due to the rest of this roster, but nonetheless, I'd like to make an upgrade. So let's see if Orlando's maybe interested in this deal. They are not, at least yet, on paper. I have some other draft capital that I can't include. I actually think I'd be willing to include Alvarado in this deal. Yeah, this is certainly a hefty price to pay, but Franz Wagner's really good. So, not a lot of draft picks remaining for us here. Murray, Ware, and Misi all going to be brought back. Qualifying offer certainly going to extend Jaime Jaquez one. And then this is just a loaded free agency class, but we're going to have to pay a lot of players. Or not a lot, but we are paying a lot of players at this point, and really hoping that I can bring back both Jones and Jaquez, because if not, I'm going to be mad. Okay, thank God. All right, at this point, we just have to really figure out what we want to do kind of all around. I mean, we have pretty much everybody on this roster under contract. I don't really need to do anything, so I guess we'll just bring in like Markelle Fultz. He'll play probably 10 minutes a night, and yeah, man, that's what we're working with. That's just going to be the team. I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final season. I'm still a little bit shocked with the way last season ended. I mean, I guess that Atlanta Hawks team was okay. I didn't really think they were anything special, and they just kicked the living shit out of us come NBA Finals time. So this offseason, we made a big splash, added Franz Wagner to an already loaded group, and I fully expect to be back in the finals. I really do. So Garland, Murray, Wagner, Williamson, Misi, Jones, Dick, Ware, Jaquez, Fultz. Okay, that is the team. It is the final season. We'd like to win 2 in 3 years. Let's go make that happen. A familiar face wins the MVP award. Wemby officially goes back-to-back. We also have our best season to date, 66-16, and hopefully we are back in the NBA Finals, winning it this time. Darius Akuff Jr., Rookie of the Year, member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. You got Darren Peterson, Sixth Man of the Year in New York. Wemby wins Depoy. Tristan Vukcevic, Most Improved Player. Give me a break. Give me a break. Mike Stauffer does win Coach of the Year. Okay, well, let's go ahead and dive into the standings here. We are the 1 seed in the West. Here is a look at the East. Let's go ahead and discuss some of the numbers here real quick. Points per game. Zion, Garland, Wagner, Murray, Dick, Misi, Jaquez, Ware, Fultz, and then Jones. Led in rebounds by Misi, led in assists by Garland. All right, I'm not really too worried about the numbers or anything like that. Our one and only goal at this point is just to win the damn thing, because you guys know me. I do not care who does what, as long as basketball games are being won. All right, sweep the Rockets in round 1. The Phoenix Suns here. Devin Booker, Grayson Allen, AJ Demancey. You got Wendell Carter Jr., Walker Kessler, Ryan Dunn, Jamal Shed, Noah S. I cannot pronounce his last name. Horrible with last names. Western Conference semifinals. Quick 3-0 lead for us. We have yet to lose a game, as we are now facing Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves here, who have added Desmond Bane to their team. Interesting addition. All right, it is a quick 2-0 lead for us. Still yet to lose a game. In the NBA Finals, we are taking on LaMelo Ball in the Charlotte Hornets. Dylan Harper's 90. Brandon Miller, Tijan Salon, Mark Williams. You got Clint Capella here. Andrew Wiggins, Keegan Murray. Pretty solid squad there for Charlotte. I think we're better. And we finally do lose a game. We lose 2 games. We are up 3-2. We close the series out in 6. And Darius Garland, your Finals MVP. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Now, this was an interesting one because, you know, at this point, I'm pretty sure you're all aware that we're only doing off-season rebuilds with teams that have officially been eliminated. And, you know, typically speaking, if you're eliminated from the NBA playoffs in March, your team really sucks. And I'm not saying that the Pelicans are a good team right now, but they have a lot of talent on their roster, and that's obviously not super common. So, you know, I know a lot of the off-season rebuilds will not be this smooth. They will not be this easy, if you will, but Pelicans, I think, are one of only 2 teams that are technically mathematically eliminated in the West, and the Utah Jazz being the other one. So, you know, eventually we're going to get to all 30, but we are waiting, you know, till teams officially get eliminated from playoff contention. So that's why we're here with the Pelicans today. I had a lot of fun with this one. I think we put together a really good team, and hopefully you guys enjoyed as well. So let me know any other rebuild ideas down below in the comment section. But that'll do it for me. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.